Yes, I made oatmeal chocolate chip cookies with no butter and no eggs either, and they're just like classic, soft and chewy with just the right amount of chocolate chips. And with this healthier recipe, I removed some calories and kept everything you love about the good old cookies. Ditch the boxes, homemade cookies is the way to go. In fact, making your own cookies could be easier than trying to find ones with no crazy ingredients in your grocery store. This cleaner alternative to chocolate chip cookies isn't loaded with sugar, butter, and flour, and these are a great way to satisfy your sweet tooth without unhealthy ingredients and too many calories. And I believe these cookies are a great transition from highly processed sweets to wholesome recipes. They're so easy to put together, so you start by combining all the dry ingredients in a large bowl. This recipe calls for rolled oats, which result in a chewier cookie. Quick cooking oats work, but they won't get the same texture. To make it hold better, I'm using some ground oats too, which is just a homemade version of more expensive oat flour. Also, you're going to need some baking powder, a good dash of ground cinnamon, and pinch of salt to enhance taste. I like to mix my ingredients separately just to make sure they're evenly distributed. Now it's time to make a sticky base, which is basically made of two ingredients: applesauce, which I use in place of butter and it works so great in this recipe, and sweeteners such as honey, maple syrup or agave. Then pour over the wet ingredients, mix, stir, press with the back of your spoon until the sticky mixture is formed. No hand mixer needed. Next, chocolate chips goes in, and dark chocolate chips provide more intense chocolate flavor. Anyway, don't overload your cookies with chocolate or you'll lose the other flavors. Instead, go for mini chocolate chips that will ensure your cookies have a little bit of chocolate in every bite. Then chill your cookie dough in the fridge for half an hour to make it easier to handle, and the oats will absorb the moisture, making the cookie dough more firm. Also, you can make this cookie dough ahead of time, roll it into balls and freeze to be baked later. Line your cookie sheet with parchment paper and start scooping the cookie dough. Small ice cream scoop will make it easier to have your cookies the same size, but you can scoop out the dough using a 1/4 cup measure or even a food scale, which will help your cookies to bake evenly. Place the cookie balls on a baking sheet, leaving about 2 inches between each. These cookies won't change shape while baking, so using your hand or a bottom of a glass, press them down to about 1/2 inch thick. And here you have two options. First one is just to flatten the cookies, leaving the edges exposed, which will make your cookies brown more on the bottom and sides. Or you can seal the edges and make a nice round shape so your cookies will bake up extra soft and tender. If these calorie numbers are still too high for you, you can reduce the amount of chocolate chips to 1/3 cup or even 1/4 cup for this recipe. With these changes, you'll be able to lower the calorie count up to 100 calories per cookie without sacrificing the cookie experience a lot. Now bake your cookies for 12 to 14 minutes until baked on the bottom and still slightly underdone on the top. Because there's no butter inside, you don't want to overbake your cookies because applesauce makes them moist, but if baked too much, they tend to be dry, losing that chewy texture. Anyway, the cookies will be a bit soft when finished, but they will continue to cook while cooling down. Let them rest on a baking sheet for 5 minutes, then transfer to a wire rack and let cool completely. This will help them from falling apart. As you can see, these cookies are firm and chewy and there are lots of small chocolate pockets. And I will make a bold statement and say that these oatmeal chocolate chip cookies are not just holiday cookies, they're all year-round cookies. Chocolate chip cookies and a big glass of cold milk, that's all you need to make your breakfast time the best time of the day. So if you want to enjoy your dessert and keep your calorie count in check, I highly recommend you make these zucchini brownies. These healthier brownies are super moist and delicious, and you'll never know there's veggies in. Check out that recipe now. Thank you so much for watching. See you in another video. Stay healthy, stay happy.